Hi, good morning to all of you. Welcome to today's class, which is going to be about critical reasoning, and it is the third class on critical reasoning. So, until now, I have taken two classes on critical reasoning. I have given enough refreshers, and as of now, I want you all to dedicate today to just practicing questions. Okay? So, just for students who are new, let me tell you what critical reasoning is. Critical reasoning is where you are given a set of facts or opinions by the author, and depending on that, based on that, you have to carry out solve certain questions. The questions can be of the type of strengthening, weakening the argument, finding the conclusion, and inference, contention, and whatnot, right? So, that's about it. So that's about critical reasoning for MBA entrance examinations. Okay. Now, before we move forward, this is the CAT value offering. 3000 plus hours of live classes, 1200 plus hours of special classes, 45 plus new tests every month, iconic CAT educators, grade batches, test series for plus and free both, where you'll have full length mock test, daily practice problems. Then you have special classes, which are daily live classes, unlimited access to all courses, practice sessions. Okay, so there are two courses that for you have for CAT. One is plus, which is basic. Then you have iconic, which is ultra specific and customized because it has personal coach, provides you OMAT preparation, expert guidelines, test analysis. So it is one in all. Then you have CAT plus subscription, CAT plus subscription, 12-month subscription for CAT is for 17,500 after discount, and the other is for 21,000 after discount. So I'm sure that must be pretty interesting for you to know that we are offering such bumper discounts. Also, if you use my code, which is Shalinee, I'll just tell you the code. SHALINW, you'll get extra 10% discount on this MRP. Okay. Now, next, Unacademy learners with flying colors. Isn't it great? So, these people are the ones who made us proud. 99.98 percentiler, 99.96 percentiler, all by being associated with Unacademy. You could be the next. And how do you think you're going to be the next? You have three batches. One started on 18th January, another 19th, and the third is going to start on 22nd. 22nd is working professional batch CAT. 18th is starter weekday evening batch, and 19th is absolute weekday morning batch for CAT 2021. Next, I would want you all to join Unacademy Champions League. It has started on 3rd January and on alternate Sundays, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Win exciting prizes and scholarships, get in-depth insights with same-day analysis. So now I'm Shalinee. About myself, and I completed my MBA from IIM Indore. I have a teaching experience of 2 years in VARC. And the reason to learn with me is that I'll teach you like an experienced student, not like a teacher. Great? Yeah, sounds great. So why an academy will set you in the right direction? So you have daily life classes, you have live tests and quizzes, structured courses, unlimited access to them. You have no language barrier. You have a schedule that works for you and you can learn from anytime, anywhere. Then you gotta answer live polls, get your doubts cleared, interact with the educator just like you would do in any other physical coaching class. We provide you PDF and learning material that even coaching classes may not provide. Then you have live tests and quizzes and detailed report and analysis to let you know where do you stand. As I told you, using my code you'll get additional 10% discount. So where do we find CR questions? CR questions appear in form of summary, inference, judgment, assumption, paradox, strengthening and weakening the conclusion. And you'll find at least 3 to 5 in CAT, ZAT, etc. Therefore, it's not a section that can be neglected. Now, as I've already told you, what are fact, conclusion, assumption, inference, a quick walkthrough, because a lot of you must have been in the class for the first time. A fact is a clear, complete statement that can be verified, and it is made by the author, not by you, or not outside of the world. He may say that the sun rises in the west, and you have to agree because for that point in time, that is the fact. That comes conclusion. So, conclusion is the point that the author is trying to convey, and not not what you have concluded. Remember that. Then comes assumption. Assumption is an unstated fact in the mind of author, which while issuing or writing the given statement, there can be more than one assumption for any given situation. An assumption is always with respect to an author or a writer. Next is inference. So, inference is unstated conclusion drawn on the basis of given fact. There can be more than one inference for any given situation, and inference is always with respect to the listener or the reader. Here comes types of critical reasoning questions in verbal ability. Strengthening or weakening, finding an assumption, finding an inference, resolving the paradox, mimicking the reasoning. Now let's go to some examples so that you're sure. So here is the question, guys. Shoot. Let's start directly from questions today, as I told you earlier. Read, I guess 2 minutes are over. So let's start with it. So the question is saying that between 1960 and 1970, ivory poachers in African nation of Zimbabwe killed over 6,500 elephants. So these are the ivory poachers in Africa, and they killed over 6,500 elephants. During that period, the total elephant population fell from 35,000 to just under 30,000. So although they killed 6,500 elephants, the total elephant population fell by just 5,000. In 1970, new anti-poaching measures were implemented in Jinbaku, and between 1970 and 1980, over 800 poachers were arrested and expelled from the country. Nevertheless, by 1980, the elephant populations had fallen to about 21,000. So, if you see that even though 8,000 poachers were arrested, but the irony is that even then the population fell further. Okay. So, which of the following, if true, would best help to explain the apparent paradox presented above? So, the question is that given of the statements 1, 2, 3, 4, which, if the below is true, would have the paradox presented above? So, let's start with 1. 1 says, the poachers arrested in Zimbabwe were rarely sentenced to long prison terms. Can't say, not sure. Comes to, because of highly publicized campaigns against the slaughter of elephants, demand for ivory fell between 1970 and 1980. Because of highly publicized campaigns against the slaughter of elephants, demand for ivory fell. Can say. So the paradox is that even after a lot of poachers being caught and a lot of rules in place, the number of and the elephant population fell further. So if I talk of 2, it is talking about demand for ivory falling. So I can't say this. Not sure. Maybe they want to say that between 1970 to 80, the demand for ivory fell, so the poaching was less. But going further, the poaching again caught its pace. 3. Elephant population in neighboring Mombasa rose slightly between 1970 and 1980. So the elephant population in Mombasa rose between 1970 and 80. That could be the that could be right, because if this many elephants were killed in 1960-70, then the total elephant population could fall by 5,000. How? Maybe those elephants would have come in the territory because it's neighboring. Comes 4. In Zimbabwe, between 1970 and 1980, thousands of acres of forests, the elephant natural habitat, were cleared for farming. So this is something we cannot comment on. 1 is not the right answer. If we talk about 2, we cannot say anything about demand of ivory, because demand of ivory could be getting fulfilled from other regions. Now comes 3. Elephant population in neighboring Mombasa rose slightly between 1970 and 80. Uh, this is in fact contradicting, because 1960 से 70 में मुझे 1,500 का एक जो डेफिशिट सरप्लस है वो मिला, जो इनएक्सप्लिकेबल है. उसके बाद क्या हुआ, वो घटा है, इसीलिए इस चीज पे मैं नहीं कर सकती। अब आते हैं 4 पे। इन जिम्बाब्वे बिटवीन 1970 and 1980, thousands of acres of forest, the elephant's natural habitat, were cleared for farming. Yes, this is very much explicable because it is saying कि laws आए रास्ते में, laws elephant population के लिए किए गए हैं ना, elephant population के लिए laws बनाए गए, लेकिन उसके बावजूद पॉपुलेशन इनकी कम हो गई, पॉपुलेशन बढ़ने के बजाय, क्योंकि शायद उसी दौरान आसपास के जंगलों को काटा फार्मिंग के लिए, जिससे दे लॉस्ट देयर हैबिटेट एंड दे मूव्ड अवे, so the count reduced. So my answer is 4. Here is another question, guys. Please start. Read. Given 2 minutes, let's start discussing. The question कह रहा है refer to the following and answer the question. If highways were restricted to cars and only those trucks with capacity of less than 8 tons, मतलब छोटे छोटे vehicles, कार, हाईवे पे या तो कार होगा या तो लेस देन 8 टन के ट्रक्स होंगे, ठीक है. Most of the truck traffic would be forced to run outside highway. Okay? Such a reduction would reduce the risk of collision on highways. So पहला conclusion, question क्या पूछा है कि what the conclusion drawn in the first sentence depends on which of the following assumptions. तो आप जो मेन क्वेश्चन है उसको हमेशा ठीक से पढ़ना. ये किस टाइप का क्वेश्चन है? ये उस टाइप का क्वेश्चन है जिसमें आपसे कंक्लूजन पूछ रहे हैं और वो भी फर्स्ट सेंटेंस का. फर्स्ट सेंटेंस कहता है इफ highways were restricted to cars and only those trucks with capacity of less than 8 tons, most truck traffic would be forced. तो पहला कहता है the road outside highways would be as convenient as highway for most drivers of truck. Okay. Most of the roads outside highways are not ready to handle truck traffic. This is completely irrelevant. Can't say. 3 कहता है most trucks that are currently running in highway have a capacity of more than 8 tons. This seems to be the right answer. और 4 कहता है cars are a greater risk of being involved in collision than trucks. How can you say that? He's only concluding that most of the traffic would be diverted. So about risk of collision we are not talking. About what is convenient, what is not, or what is able to handle, what is not, we're not talking. We're talking about one says that the roads outside highway will be as convenient as highway for most drivers of trucks. Can say that the road outside highway would be as convenient as highway. This is again convenience we're not talking about, so we're left with 3. And 3 बहुत सही कह रहा है कि देखो most trucks that are currently running in highway have a capacity of more than 8 tons. अगर ऐसा होता है तभी तो 8 टन से कम के रखेंगे तो ट्रैफिक कम हो जाएगा, है ना? ज्यादा पॉपुलेशन 8 टन से ज्यादा वालों की है, शायद इसीलिए ये कह रहा है। इसका एजम्पशन यही है कि ज्यादातर ट्रक्स 8 टन से भारी है, इसीलिए मैं अगर 8 टन से कम के ट्रक्स को अलाउ करूं तो बहुत ट्रैफिक कट जाएगा आउटसाइड हाईवेज पे। ठीक है, दे विल बी फोर्स्ड टू रन आउटसाइड हाईवेज। दैट इज व्हाई माय करेक्ट आंसर इज 3, because this is the conclusion derived from the first that. There are numerous reasons why individuals want to run their own businesses. Some foresee, okay, no. First, you guys read the question. Yeah, sorry. Flashing on your screen. 10:26 by 10:28. I'll come back. As in, I'll just ask. Two minutes done. So great. Let's hit the question. So the question says that there are numerous reasons why individuals want to run their own businesses. So there we are going to talk about the reasons of boys of businesses. Okay. Some foresee more personal satisfaction if they succeed in launching their own business. So one reason is personal satisfaction, while others are mainly interested in the prospect of larger financial rewards. So we all know that in business you can do as much scaling as you want. That gives you the leverage. Since 1980s and early 1990s, tax regulation and liberal policies have encouraged increasing number of venture capitalists and entrepreneurs to start new enterprises. So since 1980s and 1990s, tax regulation and liberal policies have encouraged increasing a number of venture capitalists and entrepreneurs to start new enterprises. Since 1990, 1.5 million new ventures have been started. Not all have succeeded. So they're asking that which the above statement makes which of the following assumptions. So कह रहा है कि people are interested in this, इसीलिए 1980s and 1990s से टैक्स रेगुलेशन और पॉलिसीज को इतना ऐसे चेंज किया है कि entrepreneurs or venture capitalists are get good support for starting new enterprises. Okay, and since 1990 many ventures have started but not all have succeeded. So above statement से जो last वाला statement है कि but not all have succeeded, इसमें हमें देखना है कि it makes which of the following assumptions. अच्छा, one thing I want to remind is that, guys, assumption is something which is on the side of the author. Inference is on your side. इसीलिए जब आप solve करो तो ये ध्यान रखना, ठीक है? Now let's look at point number one. Success in starting a new business largely depends on sound financial planning. Venture capitalists are motivated by non-monetary gains. पहला कहता है success depends on sound financial planning. He's not talking about financial planning of those people. He's talking of specifically about rules, tax regulations and policies. So वन तो छोड़ दो. अब आते हैं टू पे. टू कहता है वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट्स आर मोटिवेटेड बाय नॉन मॉनिटरी गेन्स. Okay, so venture capitalists are motivated by no. They already said that some have financial rewards, others have personal satisfaction, but they all are motivated. And even if they're not motivated by money, that does not mean that their venture will fail. So even for personal satisfaction, success of venture is required. So it's not one, it's not two. Let's see three. थ्री कहता है social incentives motivate investors just as much as financial rewards. This is completely out of context, far fetched. एक लाइन उठा के एक स्टेटमेंट बना दी जो लग सकता है आंसर है बट आंसर नहीं है, ये स्कोप के बाहर है, आउट ऑफ स्कोप. आउट ऑफ स्कोप वर्ड प्ले. ठीक है, थर्ड भी नहीं है. तो मेरा करेक्ट आंसर पहली बार है नन ऑफ दीज. तो मैं जब से पढ़ा रही हूँ आज पहली बार ऐसा क्वेश्चन आया है जिसका आंसर है नन ऑफ दीज, इनमें से कोई भी नहीं. ओके, क्लियर? कोई डाउट हो तो आप प्लीज लिख दो कमेंट्स में. मैं अभी देख रही हूँ साथ साथ में, आई रिप्लाई साथ साथ में. नाउ स्टार्ट्स दिस क्वेश्चन. Shoot, this is a long question, so I'll give you 3 minutes. 10:33. I'll give you 10:36 तक का time. I think we're done. Yes, we have rather given 4 minutes. Let's start. So it says that offshore oil drilling operations involve an unavoidable risk of an oil spill, but importing oil on tankers presently involves an even greater risk, such risk per barrel of oil. So, if we are in to lessen the risk of oil spill without reducing our oil usage, we must invest more in offshore operations and import less oil on tankers. तो ये कह रहा है कि ऑफशोर ऑयल ड्रिलिंग ऑपरेशंस मतलब अपने ही कंट्री या अपने कॉन्टिनेंट के शोर पे और शोर पे ऑयल ड्रिल करने से ऑयल स्पिल का अनअवॉइडेबल रिस्क हो जाता है, ठीक है। बट इंपोर्टिंग करने पे ज़्यादा रिस्क है क्योंकि अगर लीक होगा तो पर बैरल ऑफ ऑयल लीक होगा। तो अगर हमें ऑयल स्पिल का रिस्क रिड्यूस करना है तो आप इंपोर्ट करना शुरू कर दो, इंपोर्ट लेस करो और ज़्यादा ऑफशोर ड्रिलिंग शुरू कर दो, ठीक है। अब आते हैं पहले पे। विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इफ ट्रू सीरियसली वीकन्स द आर्ग्यूमेंट अबव? Importing oil on tankers is currently less expensive than drilling for it offshore. Importing oil on tank, तो हमारे क्वेश्चन ये है कि which of the following if true weakens the argument? So the argument has to be weakened. Number one says that importing oil on tankers is currently less expensive than drilling for it offshore. No, we are talking about the concern of oil spill. So here the concern is expense, option number one में. So one is not the right answer, one is cross. Comes two. Two says tankers can easily be redesigned so that their use entails less risk of an oil spill. Can say that the tankers that you are importing, they can be redesigned, and if that can be redesigned and less reduce oil spill, then this argument that the author has given that we must invest more in offshore because tankers are risky will be countered, opposite in nature. That's why two will be not, two will not be, two can be a right answer. Let's see three. Three says that the impact of offshore operations on the environment can be reduced by careful management. So the impact of offshore operations on environment can be reduced by careful management. This is again in favor of the argument that you have to do offshore operations. Focus on offshore operations, okay? Comes four. Four says that oil spills caused by tankers have generally been more serious than those caused by offshore operations. Okay? So the oil spill caused by tankers have generally been more serious than those caused by offshore operations. This is again in favor, but we have to counter the argument. So this is in favor of offshore operations. Since this is the case, this is also not right. So I'm only left with two, and two is very well countering by saying that we can redesign the tanker and then boom, inshore or tanker importing will be the best option. So my answer is two. Now let's move to another question. Again, this is a different type of questions where you have to choose one that is not in agreement. It will require more effort than usual, so please take your due 2 minutes time. क्योंकि एग्जाम में भी इतना टाइम तो होगा नहीं ना आपके पास, दैट्स व्हाई. Done, I think. So let's start with this question. This is the second last question, then we'll have one more question. Take a minute more. Let's start. Okay. The question says that in contrast to earlier predictions, demand for sugarcane has not risen in recent years. Yet, even though production amounts and price have also been stable during the last 3 years, last year sugarcane growers increased their profits by more than 10% over the previous year's level. So they're saying that as compared to earlier prediction, demand for sugarcane has not risen. Okay, understandable that they're saying that as the predictions were earlier, but the sugarcane demand has not risen. Yet, even though production amounts and price have also been stable, so they're saying that even though production amounts and price have been stable, last year sugarcane growers increased their profits by more than 10%. So the amount and price have been stable even though demand has not risen. And despite of that, their profit has grown by more than 10%. Wow. तो कह रहे हैं कि डिमांड भी नहीं बढ़ी और प्रोडक्शन अमाउंट और प्राइस भी सेम रहे तब भी प्रॉफिट बढ़ गया कैसे वन कहता है many sugar factories that are large consumer of sugarcane increase their production of sugarcane based ethanol, yet their overall consumption of sugarcane decreased. Okay. 2 says that rainfall in sugarcane growing regions was higher than it has been during previous year, allowing the growers to save money on expensive artificial irrigation. I don't trust this. This is meaningless. I mean, 2 is irrelevant. We're not talking about irrigation over here. Remember that, okay? This is completely out of scope of my discussion. Comes 3. Sugarcane growers have saved money on wages by switching from paying laborers a daily wage to paying them by the amount harvested. So they're saying that sugarcane growers have saved money on wages by switching from paying laborers a daily wage to paying them on the amount harvested. Okay, can say that since the cost has decreased, so the profit has increased, but let's keep it in the bucket. गोल बना देते हैं बकेट में रखते हैं 4 देखते हैं क्या कहता है 4 कहता है many small sugarcane growers joined together to form an association of sugarcane producers and began to buy supplies at low group rates. So they're saying that many small sugarcane growers joined together to form association, began to buy supplies at low group rates. So small sugarcane growers joined their hand to form an association. This is again very out of scope. याद रखना जो दिया है उसी में से आंसर ढूंढना पड़ेगा ठीक है तो ये तो है आउट ऑफ स्कोप यानी OOS अब आते हैं 1 पे 1 कहता है Many sugar factories that are large consumer of sugarcane increase their production of sugarcane based ethanol, yet their overall consumption of sugarcane decreased. तो कह रहे कि sugarcane growers increase their profit. तो ये तभी हो सकता है जब sugarcane growers किसको बेचते हैं? They sell it to their consumers who are sugarcane factories. So they're saying that sugar factories are large consumers of sugarcane and they have increased their production of this stuff, which is ethanol. Yet their overall consumption of sugarcane decreased, but now they've increased their production of ethanol. So that is why maybe that the sugarcane seller have increased the price. Now that they've increased the price, profits have increased. So one is the correct answer. Now let's move to this question. This is a short question. I will give you 2 minutes. So yes, 2 minutes are done. Let's start discussing. This is a very different kind of question. The question is, some men are definitely intelligent, others are definitely not intelligent, but of intermediate men. Amit, this is not recorded. Amit, if you have any doubt, tell me. Are you there? Come, Shruti. Shruti is also here, which is great. Okay, never mind. You can still write the options and I'll help you with this. Okay. So, well, so some men are definitely intelligent, others are definitely not intelligent, but of the intermediate men, we should say intelligent. So he's saying that definitely some men are not intelligent and some are definitely intelligent. What about the ones who fall in between? Selective. Can you call them intelligent? I think that I should not be inclined to call him intelligent. So the question is, which of the following reflects the intention of the writer well? So you're talking about the intention. Now this is another kind of critical reasoning question where you'll be asked about intention. Okay. To call men intelligent who are not strikingly so must be to use the concept with undue imprecision. Yes, this seems like an answer to me. Let's see 2. 2 says every empirical concept has a degree of vagueness. This in itself is such a vague answer. This is so far-fetched. कहाँ से भी उठ के इतने वाइड स्कोप पे आ गया? तो अगर इतने वाइड स्कोप पे आ गया है तो दिस इज नॉट द राइट आंसर. ओके, that every empirical concept has a degree of vagueness. No. So Shruti is there. Great. Comes 3. 3 says calling someone intelligent or not depends upon one's whim. We are not talking about one's whim. He said that there are clearly people who are intelligent, then there are clearly who are not. So he's not talking about calling anyone intelligent. He's talking about those people who fall in between. So 3 is also not the right answer. 2 is also not the right answer. Let's see 4. 4 कहता है there is no need to be as indecisive as the writer of the above. Dude, this is what? This ये तो ज्ञानबाजी चल रही है भाई. मतलब there is no point right in this. ज्ञानबाजी है ये. This ये पता नहीं out of context, out of scope कहाँ से उठ के आया है. This cannot be an answer. Now we remain with 1. And what does 1 says? 1 says that to call men intelligent who are not strikingly so must be to use concept with undue precision. He's right. He's saying that either people are intelligent or they are not. There is nothing in between. So people who are in between, am I inclined to call them intelligent? No, because then that will make the concept of intelligence very imprecision, very imprecise. Okay, not having precision. Now, so this is the last question of the day. Please look here. Let me see who is live. Who all of you watching is live? I can see 2 people who are live. One must be me. Mohit, hi. Amit, hi. I'm very sorry about Amit. I didn't realize that he was asking something. Is not it? Well, listen to this. Take 2 minutes. Like 1 more minute. 58 पे हम शुरू करते इस क्वेश्चन को. Done? Now let's start discussing. क्वेश्चन कह रहा है a highly cohesive work group is prerequisite for high team performance. Sociologists point out that the association between success and group cohesion owes to the support individual team members give to one another and their acceptance of the group's activities and goals. ये पूछ रहा है each of the following if true either supports or cannot weaken the sociologist assumption. तो क्वेश्चन जो पैसेज दिया है वो कह रहा है कि एक कोहेसिव मतलब वेरी स्ट्रांगली ऑर्गेनाइज्ड वेरी स्ट्रांग टुगेदर work group is prerequisite for high team performance. So for a great team performance, it's very, very important to have a cohesive work group. Okay. Sociologists point out that association between success and group cohesion, so success of a team and the group cohesion, matlab ekta, unity, owes the support individual team members give to one another. So it is about how team members give support to each other and acceptance of the group's activities and goals, not individual supporting individuals, but adhering to group activities and goals. Now, what is being asked? They're asking that each of the following, if true, either supports or cannot weaken the sociologist assumption about relationship between success and cohesion. So the assumption he gave between success and cohesion is that सक्सेस एंड ग्रुप कोहेजन में ऐसा हो जाएगा कि इंडिविजुअल एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट करे और ग्रुप गोल्स पे ध्यान दे, तभी हो सकता है ना। तो वन क्या कहता है, अब हमें ये देखना है कि इनमें से कौन इसको कॉन्ट्राडिक्ट कर रहा है। वन कहता है a group of Japanese researchers found that successful work teams were led by dominant leaders. Okay, तो ये सीधे ध्वंस कर दे रहा है आर्ग्यूमेंट को। ये कह रहा है कि जापानीज रिसर्चर्स ने ये कहा कि एक टीम के सक्सेसफुल आउटकम में एक्चुअली लीडर्स का हाथ था। सो इट वाज नॉट अबाउट टीम मेंबर्स सपोर्टिंग ईच अदर और टीम गोल्स, rather it was about leaders. So I think this is right answer, but exam may never jump to conclusion unless you have at least gone through all options at least once. Okay, so let's for surety and for being careful, let's check 2. 2 says university researchers found that there was a significant correlation between team productivity and the extent to which team members understood and complied with the group's objectives. So, university researchers are saying that there was a significant relation between team productivity and extent to which they understood. So, this is same as what is being stated. So, this cannot contradict the argument. That is why 2 is also not the right answer. 2 is not a right choice. Comes 3. 3 कहता है American researchers found that successful team members tended to read their fellow members more favorably. Okay. So American researchers have found that successful team members tended to read their fellow members more favorably. Okay. But even this says that, even this shows that how team members are encouraging each other, favoring each other, and that is leading to success of the team members or the team as a whole. So this is also supporting the argument. Fourth, industrial psychologists of UK found that work groups who tended to participate in after-hour social activities were more productive. तो अब आफ्टर आवर सोशल एक्टिविटीज से मतलब क्या हुआ कि एक साथ बैठे हैं, ग्रुप कोहेजन बन रहा है, टाइम स्पेंड कर रहे हैं, गेटिंग टू नो ईच अदर, फेवरिंग ईच अदर, बीइंग टुगेदर इन अ पॉजिटिव नोट. So this is same as what has been mentioned in the passage. That is why 2, 3, 4 are all supporting and hence they are not the right answer. So only answer which is countering the argument is 1, and that is why 1 is my answer, because they said ki what all support or cannot weaken. Okay, except this. So guys, as I said, this is the last question for today. I'm sorry for all those whom I missed. So actually, while you guys, I'm delivering a lecture, I also have to check my phone for comments. So today I missed on a couple of guys who were asking comments on the live channel. Apologies. If you have any doubts to make up for it, I'll be available on my channel. What do you call it? Telegram channel by the name Shalinee 14, SHALINE 14. Please contact me here and then we can get on it well. Otherwise, you can also ask me doubts in next live class. I'll definitely respond. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for being with me. See you tomorrow. And tomorrow I am going to teach idioms and phrases, which is going to be pretty interesting. वेरी सिंपल वेरी इजी. 4 क्लास कर लोगे, आपको idioms phrases किसी पेपर के लिए पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, मेरी गारंटी है. बी देयर.